Hi everyone, thanks for visiting my channel. I hope your year has gotten off to a great start and you're looking forward to everything that 2020 will bring you. Today I just wanted to do just a little channel chat and just talk a little bit about my channel and some questions that people have had, some requests people have had, and also I have some canning updates and I'm answering some canning questions. So today is just going to be another little chatty kind of video. The first thing that I wanted to talk about is many of you have contacted me from time to time and said, where can I find the recipe? So I just wanted to say that I always include the recipe in the description box that's underneath my video. And I realize that not everyone understands all the ins and outs of YouTube. So if you look underneath my video and actually right beside the title, there's a little arrow and it will be on the right hand side, so it'll be over here for you. On the right hand side there's a little arrow. If you click that arrow, it will open up a description box, and in the description box I leave all kinds of information for you. Most of the time, if it's just a cooking recipe, I leave you the list of the ingredients. I don't always include all the instructions for making the recipe because I want you to watch the video. That's part of what the video is for, but I do list all of the ingredients. So I also put in my canning videos, I have a disclaimer that I always put in there. I try to include the type of canner that I use and some of the equipment that I'm using. All kinds of good information you can find in the description box, but most of you were interested in specifically in the recipe, so I just wanted to let you all know that if you don't know already, if you click the little arrow, open the description box, you'll find all kinds of great information there, and the recipe is one of those things. So that's one of the things I wanted to talk about. And then the second thing I wanted to mention is I would love for you to follow me on other social media if you do Facebook or if you do Instagram. I don't do Twitter too much. I do have a Twitter account, but I don't do too much with Twitter, mostly Facebook and Instagram. You can also connect with me on Pinterest. I do try to do Pinterest as well. Just look for Thrifty Chic Housewife and you will find me. Sometimes I post things on Instagram or on Facebook that don't always make it to my YouTube channel. But you will also find on there every time I post a video, I do try to update my Facebook page so that for those of you who use Facebook more than YouTube, you'll know that I uploaded a new video. And on Instagram, I do post pictures of different recipes that I do that I don't always post on YouTube. So if you are interested, please feel free to follow me on other forms of social media. And like I said, it's just Thrifty Chic Housewife, just like my YouTube name. And I will leave that in the description box below this video so that you can find me other places if you would like to follow me there. And then one of the other things that I wanted to talk about a little bit is the content of my channel. Now, I have had several of you contact me and ask me for beauty tips, hair tips, different things that don't have anything to do with canning or cooking, which the majority of my channel has been canning and cooking. But I really don't see my channel as a canning and cooking channel per se. I see it more as a lifestyle channel. Every now and then, I'm sure you've noticed that I've thrown up some other videos, my other little channel chats I've done about things, being an empty nester, and the last one that I did about having the winter blues. I like to toss in just some little things here and there that are just kind of lifestyle things and that are just a little different. But I did want to let you know, for those of you who have asked, I am going to try to do what you've asked me for, which is some beauty stuff and some hair stuff. It's a whole different ball of wax than filming in your kitchen, so I'm working on that. But I also wanted to let those of you know who aren't necessarily interested in that content to know that I'm not changing my channel. I just thought it would be fun, first because you've asked. Anytime someone requests something of me, if it's within my expertise, I'm more than happy to share that information. And so I am going to include some of that here and there, just kind of sprinkle it throughout my channel. But I'm not changing my channel. My channel will, for the most part, is about cooking and canning. because that's what I do a lot. That really is really where my passion is. But like I said, I really like the lifestyle concept where I can share other things. I've shared some home decor stuff and some things like that. So if you see something that seems kind of out of the ordinary for my channel, I just wanted you to know I'm not changing my channel. I'm not going to stop canning. Canning is a very big part of my lifestyle, so I'm not going to stop canning. I'm not going to stop cooking, but you are going to see some other things for variety. And as I said, some of you have asked, and I'm happy to do that for you. So for those of you who've asked, those videos will be coming. I'm working on the logistics of all of that, and you can look forward to that coming up soon. And for those of you who aren't interested in that, just skip the video, whatever. But I'm not changing my channel. We are going to continue to can, cook, and all of the other things that I've always included on my channel. So I just wanted to talk about that a little bit so no one gets the wrong idea about what's going on with my channel. The other thing I wanted to mention before we move on is, as some of you know, I have 2 Yorkies, and I have one who has tracheal issues. So if you hear coughing in the background, it is not someone blowing their nose or coughing. It's not a human coughing or anything gross like that. I know I've had some comments where people have been offended by it. It is my Yorkie. Now, I do try really hard to edit it out when it happens, but there are times that I can't edit it out. So I just wanted to make that known that I have 2 Yorkies that I love tremendously, and this is their home, and I'm not going to lock them up when I film. I do try to work around them and try to film when I know that they're going to be sleeping or whatever. But anyway, if you hear coughing in the background that I cannot edit out, it is my little guy. So I apologize in advance for that, but I just wanted to make you aware. And then speaking of canning, I have some exciting news about steam canning. If we didn't have enough reasons already to love steam canning, I have one more for you. So for those of you who are not familiar, steam canning is using steam to can. You do need a canner that is specified for steam canning, and if you've watched my channel for very long, you have seen me use it. I have a multi-purpose canner that is a water bath canner, it is a steam canner, and it's also a very nice stock pot. And I will leave that in the description box below for those of you who are interested in that. But I was doing some research for one of you, and in doing my research, I came across some conflicting information as far as how to end your canning session when you are steam canning. So I was kind of in a panic because I've already done quite a few videos on steam canning, and I'm thinking, oh no, have I been teaching people wrong? So I contacted Dr. Barbara, let me see, Ingham, I-N-G-H-A-M. She is the lovely professor who did the research on steam canning. And for those of you who have been with me very long know that when I have a question, I try to go straight to the trough to get the correct information. So I contacted her, and she was sweet enough to send me an email about how to end our canning session. Now, I was teaching because the research that I had studied said that you should do the same thing that you do with water bath canning, which is turn your heat off when your processing time is over, remove the lid, and wait your 5 minutes. Well, guess what? For steam canning, you do not need to wait the 5 minutes. And here was her response when I contacted her, because the conflicting information that I came across stated that you had to leave the lid on and wait for 5 minutes, because if you didn't, that would affect your jars would be under processed. So I was panicking because I'd been teaching that you do the same thing as you do with water bath canning. Anyway, I contacted her, and she said this specifically. I'm going to read you the whole email so you get her specific answer. She said, at the end of the processing time, you may remove the lid and lift the jars out and place on a rack or towel for cooling. You do not need to leave the jars in the canner or otherwise wait 5 minutes. The current recommendation to wait 5 minutes in a boiling water canning process is due to risk of jar breakage with the much thinner glass being supplied these days and to allow food contents to quote unquote settle. It is not a recommendation based on food safety, and that's the important part here per se, although you should obviously not eat food from a cracked jar. So the issue is with the glass, not with your processing time. And then she goes on to say, here is what the National Center for Home Food Preservation states regarding boiling water canning. When the jars have been processed in boiling water for the recommended time, turn off the heat and remove the canner lid. Wait 5 minutes before removing jars to allow the canner contents to settle. And then that's what we've always done. This waiting period is not required for safety of the food when using USDA or the University of Georgia processing times, however. So the waiting time for water bath canning is strictly because of the glass that's used for jars, and we don't want to shock our jars. So for steam canning, you do not need to wait the 5 minutes, and I think that that's fabulous. I recently discovered this year, probably 6, 7, maybe 8 months ago, I discovered steam canning, and I have fallen in love with it. So for those of you who are not familiar, steam canning takes less water, which means it takes less time to come up to temperature so that you can start your processing time. You're saving money on water, you're saving money on energy. And now we don't even need to wait the 5 minutes before we remove our jars. So you've decreased your time by 5 more minutes, which I think is fabulous. So if you needed one more reason for steam canning, there you go. So I highly recommend, for those of you who have been water bath canning and you're curious about steam canning, or you've been on the fence about steam canning, do it. It is fantastic. Like I said, I've loved. The most important thing for me has been the time, the savings in time, because when your canner is full of jars and you have all that water, you have to bring it up to a boil. It just takes a lot longer than the 3 quarts of water that are required for steam canning. So I highly encourage you to look into steam canning if you do not have a steam canner. Now, the only caveat to steam canning is, and this probably affects those of you in higher altitudes more than the rest of us, is you cannot steam can for a processing time of longer than 45 minutes. So things that take longer processing times, you're going to have to really be careful with that. You cannot go over the 45 minutes. But most things that we water bath can, which is also appropriate for steam canning. Steam canning can be done in lieu of water bath canning, and that's in regards to high acid foods. For low acid foods, you must still do pressure canning. So we can't eliminate pressure canning. The steam canning would just take the place of your water bath canning. So I don't want to cause any confusion there. But you just have to be aware of your processing time. So, but I think that that's fabulous. I was so excited that she was so sweet to share that information with us. I think that that is exciting, and like I said, that just gives you one more reason to steam can instead of water bath canning. So there's that. Then several of you have contacted me and expressed an interest in canning some different things that you don't normally see on YouTube. I mean, everybody does beans, everybody does veggies, everybody does all the basic stuff. So many of you have expressed an interest in some different things like meals in jars and just some different things that we don't normally see. So I wanted you to know that I am working on researching some recipes like that for you, because I would like to can some different things myself. So I will be working on that, and you will see some different things on my channel instead of just the norm. So I did hear you, and I'm going to be working on that. Then, let's see. The age-old question of, does canning save me money, has come up. And I'm not sure that this has come up for people who are just exploring canning and were just making comments about it doesn't appear to them that it's going to save money, or if these are people who have actually canned and they're not saving money. So I just wanted to address the issue of, does canning save me money? In my experience, yes, you can save money canning, but you do need to plan. So my suggestion is to just look for whatever it is that you want to can and wait till that and that particular thing goes on sale. If it's meat, buy it in bulk, buy it on sale. If it's beans, buy them in bulk, buy them on sale. All of that. And for example, my baked beans, this question has been asked several times on my Better Than Bush's Baked Beans video, are you really saving money? And when I added it all up, yes, I was saving money. A quart of my Better Than Bush's baked beans cost me about half of what a can of Bush's baked beans will cost me, even on sale at the grocery store, unless someone's just having a phenomenal sale. But that's because I buy my ingredients when they're on sale. Now, with that being said, obviously there's an initial investment in your canner, there's an investment in your jars and your lids, those kinds of things. But your jars, once they're purchased, if you take care of them, they can be used over and over and over again. Your rings, you should not be storing your jars with your rings on them, so those are reusable. So the only thing that you're really having to purchase once you've made your initial purchase of the jars is lids. And if you look for those on sale, you can get them for 25 cents or less a piece. I always use ball lids, Ball or Kerr, because I trust them. I've had great experience with them. I'm sure I know for a fact that there are other lids out there. I can't speak to their performance because I've never used them. I want to use a product that I'm familiar with and I trust. But there's lots of options to choose from. So in that regard, yes, you can save money. Is it still going to cost you your time? Yes, but really it is an investment in time, but it's something that I enjoy. So if you enjoy canning, if you enjoy preserving your own food, if you enjoy that process, then if you plan accordingly, then yes, you can save money canning. So it just depends on what you're canning. It's kind of a hard question to answer because it depends on what you're canning and all that, and if you have a canner, or if you have to make that investment, or if you have to invest in your jars. But the bottom line is, for me, I would say hands down, yes, you can save money if you prepare for the things that you want to can. So there's that. Then I've had other people ask, so why should I can? Well, we just talked about saving. You can save money. Number two, it's a fantastic hobby. I never in a million years dreamed that I would enjoy canning as much as I do. But it is a wonderful hobby, especially for those of us who are a little wiser in our years and have extra time. We don't necessarily have little ones we have to take care of or run everywhere anymore, and you have a little extra time on your hands. It's a wonderful way to spend your time and occupy your time with something positive. That's one of the things I love about it, and that's one of the reasons I started canning. Is my kids were getting older and I was looking for things to occupy my time as they needed me less and left home. And now our son is completely off and on his own, and our daughter is in her second year of college, so she's pretty much on her own. So I don't have all those responsibilities of watching over kids and running them here and there and all of that. So I was finding myself in a position where I had extra time, and what was I going to do with this time? So that was one of the reasons I started canning. And then my husband and I started a garden. So then it was just a wonderful way to preserve the things that we were growing in our garden. So that's one of the reasons for me. I think it's a fantastic hobby, and it's a wonderful way for me to spend my time. And it blossomed into sharing with all of you. So it's been a win-win-win for me. So another reason for canning is you know what ingredients are going in your jars. So there's no question of what you've put in your jar and what food you are feeding your family. And I love that. I love the fact that we're not using preservatives really. Sometimes you have to use vinegar or lemon juice or something like that, but we're not using quote unquote preservatives in our food. So you're eliminating that. You can control the amount of salt and seasonings you're using. So it's really a wonderful way to have control, more control over what you're feeding your family. So I love that. And I'm sure those of you who are canners can have other reasons. You have other reasons for canning, but those really are my top reasons for canning. It's a wonderful hobby. I absolutely love it. It saves me money in the long run, and I know what's in the food that I'm feeding my family and sharing with my friends. So it's something that is just a win-win-win all the way around if you enjoy the process. So yeah, I think that pretty much covers it. I did want to say that if you guys have things that you would like to see me can, please feel free to leave me a comment. I love requests because that gives me direction for the kinds of things that you guys are looking for. And if there are other things other content that you would like to see on my channel that has to do with being a housewife or lifestyle things that are within my scope of expertise, leave me a comment. I'll be happy to address those things. If I feel that it's something that I can do for you, I'm happy to do that. So if you have questions, leave those for me in the comment section as well. I love questions. I love helping other people learn, and if I don't have the answer, just like with the steam canning issue, I will get the answer. I like to do research, and I'm not above going to the source to get the answer that we need. So anyway, it's all good. So leave me a comment, like, subscribe, and share. Follow me on social media if you are not already, and I will see you next time. Thanks so much for joining me, guys, and have a great day.